Hello, my name is Mark Dye, and I'm one of the co-founders of Bizzo. When new folks join Bizzo, they are usually overwhelmed by the crowded and complex industry of digital advertising. And on top of that, there are some in our industry that actually go out of their way to add to the confusion. But the truth is, it's really not that complicated. This is a picture that I've been drawing for the past couple of years to help new folks at Bizzo understand the space. As I draw this picture for you over the next few minutes, I hope you find it as useful as we do. To understand the rapidly evolving world of digital advertising, it's important that we first understand the relationship between advertisers and publishers. What began as a simple, direct two-party partnership between a buyer and a seller has evolved into a multi-tiered network of distribution and buying channels that at the end of the day is still just about buyers and sellers and how they transact. On one side of the board, we have advertisers, over here, and their goal is to simply communicate with and ultimately influence their target audiences. On the other side of the equation, we have publishers, over here, and their goal is to create compelling content that will attract an audience the advertiser is seeking to reach. This is basic advertising 101. Now, in a direct two-party transaction, we typically have an agency here that represents the advertiser and helps them communicate with their target audiences. They create media plans consisting of the right publishers that represent the right audience. Within those agencies, we have media planners. They work directly with publishers and their direct sales force to find the right audience and ultimately execute the media buy. But the internet created a unique challenge to this model. As online advertising evolved, an oversupply dilemma was created for both media planners, advertisers, and the publishers. The explosion of new and traditional web publishers created a supply of inventory that grew at a much faster rate than demand, and therefore could not be efficiently consumed by advertisers. As a result, it was not uncommon for 40 to 60% of publisher internet inventory to go unsold to advertisers. In direct response to this oversupply, another group known as ad networks quickly emerged. Ad networks aggregated this unsold inventory and categorized it in a way that could be easily consumed by media planners. Online media became classified as premium, that purchased directly from publishers, and that of remnant or unsold inventory sold through ad networks. Ad networks became another independent source of online media for planners to include in their media plans, and the traditional direct two-party transaction now included a new third-party distribution partner called ad networks. While publishers focused on traditional content creation as the way to attract advertisers and audience members, a new group of technology companies formed called audience platforms or audience networks. This group worked with publishers just as ad networks had, only they focused on the who, the audience, versus the what, the content. Just as ad networks had done for unsold inventory, the audience networks partnered with the publishing community to identify and target an audience. This audience was targeted based on a wide variety of data points, such as in-market for auto and travel, non-person identifiable demographics such as household income, gender, or professional demographics such as job title or seniority. And thus these audience networks quickly created, at scale, the ability to target a specific audience, not based upon the content they were consuming, but upon specific interest and demographic attributes regardless of the content. So to summarize so far, the development of the ad networks here and the audience platforms here gave media planners three distinct channels to access publisher inventory and audiences. They could buy premium inventory directly from publishers. They could buy remnant or unsold inventory categorized by an ad network, or they could buy audiences independent of content from an audience platform over here. So that's to close the part one, the publisher direct, the ad networks, and the audience networks. In the next chapter, we'll cover the DSPs, the SSPs, and the trading desks. All for now. Hello, my name is Mark Dye, and I'm one of the co-founders of Bizzo. In the first chapter, we covered publisher direct, ad networks, and audience networks. In this chapter, we're going to cover the SSPs, the DSPs, and the agency trading desks. As these ad networks and audience platforms became well established, the publishers needed a way to manage who was gaining access to their inventory for resale to agencies and advertisers. This brings us to a group called SSPs, or supply-side platforms. Originally, the SSPs functioned as a technology layer between publishers and the ad networks working for the publishers to maximize the revenue brought in from the ad networks. The SSPs provided a way for publishers to gain control over how their inventory was being sold and delivered to ad networks. They also introduced the ability to create a bidding environment so that publishers could begin to extract higher value for their inventory. In theory, if a publisher, via their SSP partner, could expose the many specific attributes of a given impression simultaneously to multiple ad networks, a true market value could be established and the price of online inventory would rise. Concurrent with the development of the SSPs, who were focused on helping the publishers, another group of technology companies were forming to help the buyers, both the ad networks and the agencies. This group created what became known as DSPs, or demand-side platform. So now we have yet another layer in the ecosystem designed to help buyers and sellers connect. The SSPs helping publishers and the DSPs helping the buyers. As SSPs and DSPs developed, they integrated their technology and created an infrastructure for buyers and sellers to perform programmatic buying in a real-time bidding environment, which became known as RTB, or an RTB exchange. So as the SSPs focused on the supply, or the publishers, the DSPs focused on the demand, or the buyers, and they created a programmatic way to buy and sell digital media. So now we have yet another independent source for the consumption of publisher inventory. As a result, media planners and agencies were challenged with managing multiple access points and models to access digital media. It was becoming clear to the leading digital agencies that RTB, or programmatic buying, required a new skill set to execute plans that included exchange inventory. These new skills relied much more on utilizing technology than traditional skills based upon personal experience and relationships. In reaction to this new skill set requirement, the agencies created the agency trading desk. The trading desk utilized the DSP technology to execute RTB buying. The trading desk gave the agencies a way to play the same media execution role as they always had done for their clients. But now they needed a new skill set within the agency to take advantage of the technology created by the DSPs and the SSPs. Media planners now had several independent sources from which to create their media plans. Publisher Direct for premium inventory, ad networks for scale, price, and inventory categorization, audience platforms for the who versus the what, and the SSPs via the DSPs for programmatic buying of both inventory and audiences. So in the end, the ad tech world is not really an infinite sea of boxes connecting to boxes connecting to boxes. It's really just an extension of the traditional two-party system of buyers and sellers. You just have to understand what's being sold, who's actually selling it, and how it's being consumed. I hope this in some small way helps you understand our industry a little better, and I'll see you on the front lines.